Welcome to Dumbgeons and Dragons. We are a 5th edition actual play podcast, and I am your dungeon master, Russ Moore, and with me today is Amy Moore.
Yes, I am here. And I also play Thea Anastasia. And this was a little weird.
Nailing it.
Yep.
Every
Perfect.
time, all the time.
I'm going to stop you there. Stop you there. And Carla Johnson is also with us.
Hey, I am also here. Make it awkward. I play New Lara Moonbrook.
Thank you.
And Tom Laird.
Yeah, that's me as well, maybe? Yes, definitely. Yes, that is the one. And I play Flint Firebeard.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hey.
Ira.
Feeling super awkward today?
Hey, question.
Mm-hmm.
You know when you were in elementary school and the teacher used to take roll and you would get like kind of nervous before it was your turn to say here? That's exactly how I feel.
Every time?
Because we never know whose name Russ is going to say first, so you have to be like ready. You have to be ready for it.
I always had teachers do it alphabetically, so I felt prepared. I knew, after so-and-so Gilroy.
Yeah, you'd be up. Yeah, me too.
Now
I guess I
first
meant more
before
that,
Gilroy.
like, I don't know, that, like, awkward anticipation of having to, like, say, here,
Yeah, how am I going to say it today?
Present.
present. Exactly.
That's just what I'm going to say next time. Present. Present accounted for.
Accounted for.
Well, I'm sorry to stress you guys out so much.
No, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah.
It's good to have.
Today, we're going to talk some mechanics and some level ups, because we haven't done that in a while, where we've really delved into our character sheets and see what we got going on there and remember what we have going on there and
Pure
how to
mystery.
use it.
Pure mystery.
So we're going to do that for the first little bit, because we got 2 levels for everybody to go up. And then also a whole bunch of stuff for maybe some stuff on their character sheets that we'll go over and just make sure everybody knows what's going on and how they can D&D the best that they can.
To the best of our ability,
That's right.
which is like a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah.
5 at least.
Oh, good. That's good confidence, Amy. I like it.
We also just want to what month is it? It's still June, which is women.
Oh my God.
Which is Women in Tabletop Gaming Month.
Yes, bonus eps.
Bonus
Woo, woo.
episode. Last week was Amy's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And next week
Yeah, Amy.
is Carla's episode.
Double yes.
Yes, Carla.
Did you just boo?
Don't
Yeah,
boo your
Don't
episode.
boo your episode.
They're both
Real
like
fun. You guys are real fun.
I sang on your episode.
Yeah, you did a
Yeah,
lot.
you
I
did.
hope that sounds
Multiple
good.
Spoiler
times.
alert for my episode. It's amazing.
pretty
And you sing.
spectacular.
And you guys.
I mean, if you thought Amy's episode was great,
It's true. Carlos is even better because I didn't
They're all
DM it.
And be astounded as Russ and I play identical looking characters.
Amy plays a teenage boy.
It's very
Great
Yeah, she
fun.
does.
It's great fun.
yeah, we won't give it all away though. No spoilers. So tune in next week
right.
to find out how that wraps up. And also, if you're joining us for kind of the first time because of this Women in Tabletop Gaming Month, this is a bit of an weird episode because
Who are
we're
you?
going into our
What are you
characters.
doing here? How did you find us? That's what I want to ask those people.
WomenInTabletopGaming.com is probably how they found us.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Which thank you for joining us. But also, if you like what we have going on, and maybe you've joined us now or earlier, we're on Patreon, patreon.com/dumbdragoncast, and each episode or whenever we remember to do it, a lucky patron gets an episode dedicated to them. Like today was Joshua Dixon.
Joshua Dixon.
Joshua.
Thanks, Joshua.
Yay.
You get this
Thanks,
shitstorm.
This is yours.
This is all yours.
So
it.
lucky.
Yeah, take it for what it's what you've been holding out for. It's very
Do you
good.
like it when we talk about mechanics? I hope so. This is your episode.
I'd like to know how, like engines work. I like the amount of silence
Yeah.
that accompanied that.
Maybe
was an
we could
engine in the
rebrand
background.
to like a popular mechanics for kids if that's never been taken.
Let's
that.
do it.
Perfect.
Yep. All right.
First up, can opener.
Welcome to Popular Mechanics for Kids. We're not gonna. No,
No.
No,
it's not gonna work. It doesn't feel right.
Do you guys know how anything works well enough that you could explain it?
No.
Oh no.
Although
I know how
I
the
know
flip
that both
top
Alicia
on a beer
Cuthbert
can.
and Jay Baruchel have like astounding careers after being on that show as kids. So
That's true.
Well,
So
there
you
go.
think it would be a good stepping stone for us?
I definitely think so.
There's only one way to go from here.
Right?
Up. Yes, up.
In the upsy lifty machine.
On the upsy downsy
The
machine.
upsy downsy machine.
Listen to the Return to the Guild episode if you don't get that. That's a deep cut going back 2 episodes. Whew.
It's a real deep cut.
Yeah, a real deep cut.
I have to say before we get started, there was a couple of people that left reviews for us on our
Yes.
Facebook page, and they totally made my fucking day. So
I
thank
got
you
to
so much.
answer one before Russ did. I typed it, and as he was typing it, I was like, oh no.
No.
I'm going to say thank you first. And I did.
I mean, that's great.
And then I texted Russ, and I was like, beat you to it. Work's been real busy,
I love
you
it.
guys. Work's been real busy.
Ribbons.
And back to Patreon. We've got if you're on Patreon, you just heard the finale a few days ago of our current arc that we had going on, which Tom DM'd, and it was a
Yeah.
fabulous wrap up.
It was so fun.
Super awesome.
So that is up there. You can binge right on through that, 11 episodes. And then next month, we are starting up a new campaign with the new system. We're going with Fate Core, and we can't even really get into it right now because of how secretive it is.
Oh,
Because we don't know. That's why we can't get in.
it's the biggest
top
secret of all.
So secret.
We barely know.
That's right.
But we'll be diving into a session 0 and find out how Fate Core works and how we can set up the game. And then we're going to be jumping into that new story. So now's a great time to join us on that community. Patreon.com/dumbdragoncast.
A fun game for our Patreon listeners is listen through the 11 episodes and try to find the fight where I totally fucked up and made it way too hard for everyone.
Spoiler alert, you're going to find it right away.
Yeah, it's real easy to find.
Yeah.
When it rolls into hour 6
Oh
of
my
the
god,
episode,
it was
you'll
so
realize
tragic.
Live
it
and
was
learn.
fun. We had a great time. It was a very fun arc.
Excellent.
Pop Culture Wars is a great supporter of Dungeons and Dragons as well. And they're fantastic. All the guys and girls over there, popculturewars.com, they sell pop culture merchandise. T-shirts, hoodies, leggings, all from the latest
And that is Wars with a Z or a Z.
Z or a Z's. Yes, sorry. Pop Culture Wars with a Z or a Z.com. They're a small online company, but they want to make sure that they do the best for you and give you high quality materials. So go check them out to get all the latest T-shirts from like Deadpool and Rick and Morty and Star Wars. If you go see, oh, I don't want to shout out movies.
They don't need our help.
They don't need our help.
Can I
But go check
slam a
out the
movie
T-shirts.
real quickly?
Yes.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, sure.
Deadpool 2, not as good as the original. Boom, you've been slammed.
This is what's
See,
stuck
our
in my
sponsor
mind
really
right
likes
now.
Deadpool, though, so that's might get cut.
Hey, the t-shirts on Pop
T-shirts
Culture
are
Wars
great.
were like, I shouldn't just say the t-shirts, like the merch you can get with their designs on it are great and a delight.
They're adorable.
Yeah.
Like all of them
Regardless of the...
are either like cute or
Yes.
cute / like gross or cute and offensive.
Cute and
It's all-
disturbing.
Yeah, it's great. When you said a Z or a Z, now I think that should be like a monster that we fight, and it's called a Z or a Z.
Oh, I like that.
And then now it's stuck in my head, so if someone could create a monster.
Ty, we're looking at
some
you.
stats. Ty, that's right, my man. A Z or a Z. Now, it's in there, and it won't come out. A Z or a Z.
Popculturewars.com.
With a Z or a Z.
With a Z or a Z. When you get over there, use the promo code DumbDragon, get yourself 10% off. And they also have free shipping to Canada, the US, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. It's pretty great.
Pretty great.
Fuck it, guys. Let's talk characters and shit.
Woo! That's totally what we usually say.
So catchy. Such a catchy
Because
catchphrase. I can see why we say it.
Playing D&D.
Not playing,
are we?
we're not really
Not
playing
really
right this
playing.
moment.
Makes sense.
Tune into,
Playing means you're going to have fun. This is serious business.
if you like mechanics, you stick around. If you like gameplay, tune to insert time here later, Russ. And you can skip ahead.
Or
The
if you also just like to
37-minute
listen
mark.
to us banter and be off topic, stick around because that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is where what we're actually good at, bullshitting and loving each other as friends. This is where it's going to really shine.
This is a
And
great
if you
time
want
to
to
jump on
hear
board.
how boring it is to level up a champion fighter, you just wait. It's coming. It's coming real fast.
I bet Tom got stronger.
Maybe.
Spoiler.
Perhaps.
Spoiler alert, no, he did not. In fact, once you hit level 12, they start taking things away.
No.
To make it more challenging.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, because you're getting older too, right? Like as time goes on.
Older, wiser.
He's at least 3 weeks older since you guys
Holy
started
shit, hold
playing
on.
in game
Level
time.
12, I'm reading here. First gray hair in beard appears.
No.
Level 16 is in the pubes.
I thought that's what Amy was going to say, to be
I
totally
thought so
honest.
too.
You know what? I'm ashamed that I didn't go there.
Yeah, I assumed as soon as you said first gray hair that it was going to be.
South of the
Pubic
border.
related. Yeah.
Yeah. How? Like, what a cruel world would that be that your first gray hair at all is in your pubes?
It would not be motivating.
Wouldn't that be horrific? You'd be like, well, it's all fucking done now, isn't it?
Yep.
See, we stay on
Yeah,
topic.
totally on topic.
It's going to be great.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna level everybody up, and then we're gonna talk character sheets because there's some Unearthed Arcana stuff that Carla's character New Lara has to do to make her,
More interesting?
more awesome.
More interesting.
Not more interesting.
Not Carla, more interesting.
Kind of like
Carla's character.
So the other thing we can do is just kind of touch on your I guess the goals that you have been doing, and
Just a little
looking
debrief.
ahead.
Just a little.
Debrief.
I think we should all roll a dice, and the highest person does theirs first.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Do it.
Okay.
D20?
Yeah, D20.
I was only going to roll a d4, so my options were very limited. I got an 11.
I got an 11. I think Tom said that as well, but
I
he
did.
cut out.
I
think
did.
he
I got an 11.
Add your initiative modifier.
Oh, I got an 18.
13.
Should have looked at. There you go.
Nope,
I think
12.
Amy's gonna go
Because I
first.
haven't
Oh
leveled
no,
up yet.
Carla has like a +10 in initiative, I think.
Well, plus 8, so
Yeah.
I have a 19.
Ooh, Carla goes first.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
What?
fucking
Look.
buckle up, because mine is the most extensive.
So ready.
Okay, so Rangers, fun fact, everyone hates them.
Okay, they get a bad.
Not in game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Wizards of the Coast got the most complaints about Rangers not being balanced enough characters. So because they're not as good at fighting, is it they're just underpowered compared to everyone else.
They're a jack of all trades, but master of none.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they
not
had-
in the fun jack of all trades actual D&D way,
Yeah.
but in the
They had
kind
a
of
good
insulting,
vision.
normal vernacular way.
But in the player's handbook, is just poorly executed compared to all the other classes, I think is what it
Yes.
was. Yeah.
Yes. So a bunch of stuff has changed for me. I'll just give you the quick version. It is all a lot more involved in that. But and then tease, we're going to need to have a pretty serious conversation about Donnie.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
I already know what I want to do, but it also is really up to Russ
I don't know if I'm
what
ready for this.
I can do. So,
We'll
so
talk
I
about it.
now have, I get +2 damage to any successful weapon attack. I have advantage on initiative rolls. And in the first turn of combat, I have advantage on attacks against creatures who haven't gone yet.
Which works really well with your high initiative because you
Yeah.
want to be first.
Yeah, I want to
Then
be
you get your
first, and
pick,
then
yeah.
I can, I have advantage against people attacking me afterwards. So that's good because I'm not super strong. Tom is now going to be I don't know, real fucking strong. So that was my good language that I used there. Let's see. My things have changed as well for my favored enemies in a few different ways. So I got to pick favorite enemies at certain points, and that gave me sort of advantage. I think advantage on rolls against them. I've already changed this, but it was nothing special. But now my favorite enemies, I get +4 weapon damage against orcs and gnolls, and then I have a greater favored enemy, whereas they were all lumped together before, which is dragon. And so I get +4 weapon damage, plus advantage on saving throws against their spells and abilities.
I was hoping you'd switch it to sheep.
My favorite enemy is the sheep.
I hate those motherfuckers.
I also, it seems like I was cherry picking that, but I did already have dragons as a favorite enemy from like whenever last time I got to pick one,
But it
like
didn't
level 6
really
or something.
do much for you.
Yeah, it didn't do
It was on
really
skill
anything.
checks based on like information. and
Information
stuff.
about
Yeah.
dragons, and it's like, oh, that helps me in a battle.
Exactly.
I know your favorite color.
Exactly. Like, oh, I knew history about them, which like,
Yeah.
So that ties in also to my primeval awareness. What it used to be is like my favorite enemies, I would know if there were some within a mile, but not how many there were or where they were. So it was basically useless, right? Like, it was like,
There are
oh, we're going to
dragons
hunt a
around
dragon.
somewhere.
And then, oh, yep, there is one, you know.
There's one somewhere in the world.
But now it's much better. Now I can tell within 5 miles which of my favorite enemies are present, how many, the general direction they're in, and how many miles from us there are. And if there are multiple groups of them, I can learn that about all of them.
Oh, dang.
So it is actually
girl.
like very good.
New Lara got smart, yo.
Yeah, it actually like is better. And hide in plain sight was something that I think I got at like level 9 or something, but it
10,
used to be that it was like a +10 to stealth basically, but now that was if I didn't move at all. I had to like camouflage myself and then not move, and I got a +10 to stealth. But now if I don't have to camouflage myself, and if I don't move, they get like if they're doing perception, like they're trying to see me, they take a -10 to their perception. So if I move or fall prone, I lose that, obviously, because then they can see me. But in theory, I could like still cast spells that don't require movement and stuff, and they wouldn't be able to see me. Okay, so the other big change... Oh, I also have Fleet of Foot now, which means I can dash as a bonus action on my turn. I think that's kind of it. Except, here's where we're going to need to have a group conversation, or Russ is actually the DM, so he gets to decide what I'm going to do. So, in the player's handbook, what would happen at 12th level is that my animal companion, Donnie, would get a second attack. But they've changed it in the Unearthed Arcana stuff, and your animal companion is actually now a way fucking bigger, tougher animal. Like, way bigger. I don't have it open.
How
but it's
big is it?
like a medium-sized creature, basically.
Yeah, so
like,
the list it gives is an ape, a black bear, a boar, a giant badger, a giant weasel, a mule, a panther, or a wolf.
yeah, and they get
You could have T'Challa with you?
so they get their stuff all stacks as well. Like in the player's handbook version, like Donnie still had like 7 hit points, right? Like he was nothing because he's just a little pseudo dragon, and that was it. I'm wondering, like, what I would like to do is not give up Donnie, because he has been around the whole time, like since before we even started.
And he's got those sweet hats.
All those hats.
Yeah.
He does have an
Trucker
amazing
hats.
accent, which I feel like has maybe never been in the podcast. I don't know. It's been
It
an
has
awfully
been
long time.
a couple times.
Just recently, when we're like, how would Donnie say that?
They fucking packed a car in the yard, brother.
Oh yes, I recall now. I saw like trying to do it.
Yeah.
But what I would like to do is kind of find the middle ground of those two things. So maybe let him keep that second attack, because his attack still is like not much. He's just like a little dude. But he did just get his like collar that gives him like the ability to transform into that gold dragon wormling.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to keep him, but I did like upgrade his stats based on the way the stats upgraded if I had the
Sure.
bigger creature. So, he has more hit points now and he just is tougher. And there are a few other like mechanics on how he reacts to me and what that all means. Because in theory, if I had started with this bigger creature, like by this level, it'd be like a fucking ferocious killing machine, basically.
Yeah.
Which Donnie is not, although he did like put a spider to sleep and stuff. He's had some successes.
Yeah.
He's been fine. But yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, Russ. Like, I'd be sad to get rid of him now.
No.
But maybe we can still make him, tougher and stronger, but he obviously won't be as strong, so still let him have that second attack.
Yeah, so, giving him the collar was kind of my help for him to make him tougher and stronger, because you're right, he should have been leveling up, or you should have, in theory, picked something different to start, right? Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, Donnie's been with the party since the beginning of when we started playing 3 years ago.
So long ago.
Yeah.
So
Can't
long.
get rid of him now.
So yeah, no, I'm not going to be like, yeah, get rid of Donnie. If you said, well, I want to get rid of Donnie or work Donnie out of the story in some way, then we could do that. But I don't think that's what you want to do.
What, we like take him to a farm upstate so he has tons of room to roam around?
He
I mean,
just
it makes
retires.
sense. He's from Brooklyn.
He wants to go start his own auto mechanic,
Yeah.
garage.
So I guess what I can do, or we can do together, is look at the gold dragon wormling, because I also looked at the collar that I gave him again, and it is like a permanent effect. As it's supposed to be a permanent effect, not like a choice thing. So
okay.
he puts it on, and he's supposed to be now a gold dragon, gold dragon wormling, like until it comes off in one way, shape, or form. So we can do it either way, because we said in the episode that, it's like he chooses or you choose, and, he just turns into it. But in theory, what it's supposed to be is the collar goes on and then he magically transforms into this gold dragon wormling, and he is that now.
Right.
Until that gets damaged or negated or anything in one way, shape, or form.
Well, and he would thusly have the hit points and awesomeness.
Yeah, do you, Russ, can you send me the stats for that?
Yeah.
And then I can kind of look and see if what makes the most sense, and then we can just talk about that, not right now.
Yeah.
Because that would probably make him more like those other creatures that he could have been, and then we can kind of find a middle ground.
It's like a happy medium where you don't have to get rid of Donnie, but he can also
He's going to
be more helpful for the party.
Yeah.
I think compared to a wolf, he's going to be more powerful as a gold dragon wormling. But depending on how the wolf would have scaled up from when you first got it to how it should be when you're level 12, that might determine something different. But yeah, we'll still include all because at level 5, you should have coordinated attack where you fight as a team, beast defense. So while it can see you, it has advantage on all saving throws, storm claws and fangs. It gets a bonus.
I think we should be marrying these two.
Yeah.
The Donnie and the
that's
skills
totally it.
of... This isn't my character. I don't...
Well, no, but...
But it's my
It affects all of us, right? It's so...
Yeah.
Well, and Donnie's a part of the team.
Exactly.
But he should... You know what? It's not fair that he hasn't developed any sort of abilities
He hasn't.
going on in the amount of time we've all been together.
So you can understand why people with Wizards of the Coast would have kind of complained about it, because when I chose him, he was one of that's the kind of
and
creature
cute.
that you got, right?
Yeah.
It was basically a little pet is what you
Based on
got.
challenge rating,
Yeah.
and that's what you got. And you
So-
picked it because it was a cute little dragon guy.
Yeah.
that could read your thoughts and send you images. I mean, come on.
He's a good scout
Exactly.
for an early level adventurer.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that actually is probably... Oh, no. I guess I had some other, normal stuff that isn't the Unearthed Arcana stuff. So I got one more spell. I've got some, ability score improvements, normal stuff. And, yeah, that's kind of about it. It's the Unearthed Arcana stuff that is, the big changes for me. So I should, in theory, be more helpful now.
You've always been really helpful.
Did you get more hit points too? Because don't forget those.
Yep. I got more hit points, and I have I still have no charisma. Shocking.
Well,
But everything else is a bit better because we did 2 levels, right? So I wait.
Yeah, and the reason we did 2 levels for people listening is the way Rise of Tiamat works is it's milestone. So I mean, early on we did XP to gear everybody up, but I switched to milestone just because it was easier to track. And as Tom, Carl, and Amy finished an art or finished a storyline, it's like, okay, well, you beat this thing or you finish this thing, you get a level. It was just easier to kind of go. And the way we've been playing is we've been working towards the Dragon Council episode, which came out first this month, for quite a while. And that was one of the milestone pieces. But also the Kuth battle was another milestone piece. So we were working towards the Dragon Council thing, which we had already played through and recorded, and then the Kuth stuff, and then it didn't make sense to just do one right after the other, so we just held on to them until this point, so that, because we knew that it didn't make a difference because we had already recorded it, we just left it until now.
not that we would have needed any of the skills.
Yeah, I mean,
in a conversation.
Yeah,
And-
this is good.
yeah.
Besides, this way is more exciting. It's like a whole bunch of like
get a huge buff going into and we're going into like the 3rd act of this story. So things are going to get tougher for everybody. Things are going to get more serious and a little more dark. And so it's
Like
good.
we're coming to the end of a semester. All right, you guys, up until this point, it's been a cakewalk. Now the quizzes are going to be harder. The tests are going to be more in-depth. Your writing is going to be looked at more.
I mean,
This group project
Kinda
is worth
is, right?
50% of your grade.
Oh, shit.
like as far
I
as
hate working in a group.
as far as the storyline goes, like these final few pieces are going to be, setting how the final battle or not battle is going to go with the rise or fall of Tiamat at the end, right? Like, it's kind of good going into this last part where we're getting these buffs for these characters, and it's going to be good. Okay, so Carla, you're leveled up.
Yeah.
Anything else? We'll go through spells and stuff after everybody levels up, spells and sheets and all that sort of stuff. So who's next? Amy's
I
next.
think I
You
was
rolled
next.
next highest.
Saving the longest for last.
Yep. This makes you stick around, so you have to listen to everybody. You can't just peace out, go get a drink.
You guys
Okay,
have
good
to-
call. Good call.
Yeah.
You guys have to bear with me here. Okay, so level 11, I get 1 6-level spell slot.
Damn.
Sorry, we're doing spells now because that's like my only thing.
You didn't get anything else?
Not really.
I guess
I get an
okay,
ability
so
score improvement too at level 12.
What we said for the ability scores, though, is you can choose either the ability score or a new feat.
Oh, right.
Because I had given you those 2 new feats on top of your last ability score, but then going forward, you can pick or choose. So if anybody else got an ability score, you can choose a
we all
feat.
did.
I did.
Okay.
I took ability scores though because because it was
I did as
2,
well.
right? And one of mine was still
Yeah.
really low. Like I still had like
Sure.
a 0 on, like a 0 bonus or something
Okay.
on it, except for charisma because I don't care about that. That's not
So
how
I
New
guess
Laura rolls. But I did take it as ability score improvements.
That said, though, if you want to look through the feats while Amy's going through her stuff, and if
Just
there's one
in
you would
case.
rather take, because some of the feats can be pretty good, especially now that New Laura has a lot of other kind of defense and combat based stuff. ahead.
Okay, so nothing else has really changed. So I get a 6-level spell slot, and I wanted to talk to you guys before I choose my spell because it matters. These are my choices. The first one, I have 3 that I'm choosing from.
Okay.
Amy's just passing books.
Be a book
all
stand,
over the
Russ.
place.
Hold this book.
Yeah, God. One spell that I can get, it's pretty ballin'. It's called Heal, which, I already have like...
It's a 6th level spell.
Yeah, it's a 6th-level spell. So I can choose a creature that I can see within range. A surge of positive energy washes through the creature, causing it to regain, wait for it, 70 hit points.
Whoa.
Wow.
This spell also ends blindness, deafness, and any diseases affecting the target. Yeah. So, we may have been dying a lot recently. I thought this one could be good. But then I also was like, fighting is important too. And so the next spell that I was thinking of was, it was Sunbeam. Because I have Moonbeam. So
Yeah, you do.
Sunbeam.
Yeah, what's Sunbeam do? I love Moonbeam.
I know. Sunbeam is also pretty ballin'. It is a beam of brilliant light flashes out from my hand in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Each creature must make a Constitution saving throw and receive 6d8 radiant damage and is blinded until my next turn.
Damn.
Yeah.
I like 68.
Yeah. You can create a new line of radiance as your action on any turn until the spell ends. This light is sunlight. They make sure to say that. Like, it is sunlight. So I don't know.
Are those the two?
I thought there was a third one.
Is there a third?
Oh, there's a third one, and it is Investiture of Flame, Ice, Stone, or Wind. So essentially...
She picks one of those.
Yeah, I can pick one of these. But essentially what it does is it covers my body in the thing that I choose. So like Investiture of Flame, essentially I'm ablaze, and I am immune to fire damage, resistant to cold. Anyone within 5 feet of me takes 1d10. I can choose to create a line of fire, 15 feet long and 5 foot wide, and the creatures in there take 4d8 fire damage. Ice is very similar, but it's 4d6 cold damage. Stone gives me resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical attacks, and so on. So it's not...
So it is a good range because that's like healing, fighting, or protecting yourself. So
yeah. So another thing that apparently I can do is I can get rid of spells. So I could take, like, if I'm not using Fairy Fire from my level 1, I can choose to remove Fairy Fire and then add another 6th level spell. But I only have one 6th level spell slot. So in a battle, I could choose between healing or the crazy fire thing. So I don't know if I should be switching a lot of stuff out, knowing I could only use it once. Like, I will have to choose between them anyway.
But what would you, so the question you have is, should you be a healer, be a tank, or should you have the ability to choose both? And I think the ability to choose both is a much more useful tool to you, because when was the last time you used Fairy Fire?
I can't remember. It was once for funsies, I think.
Yeah.
Although, if you reread the description of Fairy Fire, it is a very baller spell, and you should be using it constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I just don't understand it. But I mean, like, there are certain things that I don't, because I mean, right now I do have 2. Like, I've got Cure Wounds and I have Mass Cure Wounds. I rarely use Heat Metal or Thunder Wave.
yeah, those were things like I feel like you used
or Wind
those,
Wall,
like early on. Like I remember using
when we
heat
were
metal
like still
to,
playing at the table.
Yeah, to like you know burn someone in their armor or whatever, which was cool. But it was definitely when we were like 2nd level characters. So
yeah,
like you just don't really use those. My like gut, and this is just my like nihilism speaking maybe as a character, the inevitable rise of Tiamat, etc., etc., is that healing spell's rad, but I would like you to be able to fight more. Like I feel like you miss out sometimes on the fighting in a way that isn't as fun for you, because Tom's like killing, and that's going to be even more of that now, I suspect.
Which is awesome because that needs to happen more as well.
For sure. But you, like if it was me, it is more fun to like fuck shit up with spells than it is to heal people afterwards, which is maybe not very nice.
I'm going to play devil's advocate though. Yeah, it's more fun to deal combat.
But we're not here to have fun.
No. But
I have made it abundantly clear that this is not what this podcast is about.
If somebody, fuck off. If somebody drops to dead, they are no longer fighting and no longer healing.
This is true.
I do have Mass Cure Wounds
just playing devil's
and
advocate.
Cure Wounds, so that I can pull out at many different spell slot levels.
What's the difference between, I mean, the obvious difference, like Mass Cure Wounds cures all of us and Cure Wounds only cures the one
Is it target?
specific
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
See, because you have that, right? And you have used it. We do have some good, like, healing potions now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, then I think what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll look at Fairy Fire again. Thank you for the head's up.
And
yeah,
I mean,
you should, because it's awesome.
But I mean, and I
do
also
some,
have
like,
Detect Magic, which I
substitutions?
feel is silly. because the way you describe things, like you see like a and I'm just like, I'm going to detect magic. I know it's magic.
yeah, that's fair.
It's always magic.
but I mean, with Detect Magic, though, you also get what type of magic it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, some
like,
more.
Sometimes.
With an Arcana check, you don't get that, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to know lore about something magical, that's what an Arcana check does. Detect Magic, if you want to know it's actually magic and what type of magic it is and how to try and potentially stop it,
This is a protection spell.
That's what Detect Magic
This
is.
is going to spray poison all over the place. Oh, okay. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to remove Heat Metal, Thunder Wave, and Wind Wall. And I think I'm going to take higher level spells. And
I'm also going to say, spoiler alert, you will level up before Tiamat is even, like, around again. So there will be more spells
Yeah.
that you can...
Or maybe not around, as we've
Or
been
maybe not
over.
around.
Who knows?
see, look
Go
at this.
either way.
Around, not around, right?
So, but I mean, these are ones that I definitely don't use. And if I just
Sure.
even replace them within their own
Yeah.
Level.
With different spells.
within their
yeah.
own level with a different spell, something might
Sure.
work. So I think I will at least, I'm going to take two. I'm going to take the heal and I'm going to take Sunbeam, I think.
Nice.
So that I have two options in a 6th level spell. If shit's going our way, but it's taken a long time to kill something. But what Carla says is totally true. Because sometimes it takes me so long to cast something and then for the turn to come back around to me, like when it's a really big fight, that all the damage has been pretty much done.
See this first?
And or I'll conjure up a whole shit ton of wolves and then the fight will be over before.
Yeah, because
the
you have
wolves
to
get
wait
their
until
turn.
your next turn to
Yeah.
do something with them, right? So there
Yeah.
has definitely been times, and don't get me wrong, I fucking love it. Like there's been gators and there's been wolves, there's been all
Oh,
these
it's been great.
creatures, and it's so fun. But then not mostly, but it has definitely happened where then we're just like hanging out with them. Because
Yep.
how long are they around? They're around for an hour, Russ. We're hanging out with the fucking wolves. I don't think
Of course we are.
we are back in the woods
Petting.
now.
I guess to that, it's like threat analysis and action economy, right? Like you're walking into a dragon battle. You don't wait till 6 turns in to cast your big spells.
You know what? I didn't know if, can I cast that spell outside of battle?
Well, you can cast it whenever, but you don't know you're in battle until you're in battle.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, if we're walking into a dragon lair,
Yeah,
can I just be like, look shady, I want some sharks.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Some
sharks might be an odd choice, but
There was
Yeah,
water
but
in
you
that
can
one.
make a tornado with your wind wall, and then boom, Sharknado.
I need to apologize immensely for not using Fairy Fire before. I would like to make a public apology to all of our listeners and to you guys, as it gives advantage on attack rolls to anything that is outlined in the Fairy Fire. And not just from me. I could have fucking covered that dragon in Fairy Fire. No, I couldn't have, because he would have used legendary resistance. But other things, and you guys would have always had advantage on your attack rolls. I was selfish. I was thinking
Yeah,
to myself,
it's an awesome
I never
spell.
make attack rolls. What does it matter? Well, because everyone else in the party makes attack rolls. Amy, stop being such a selfish bitch.
I mean, I was thinking those things, but I would never have
this
said
is really why I hung up the call. I was like, Amy, you're being such a selfish bitch.
They're going to be so mad when they
I
find
had a
out.
marital. It was
No, I gotta say, my brother deserves credit on that one, because he, specifically in the character he rolled for the game we're playing with his 9-year-old, made a character that had fairy fire, because he read it and was like, oh, this is so awesome. And then when we were playing and he cast the spell and like told me what it did, I was like, why isn't Amy using this
I'm
constantly?
so sorry. And gosh, I know.
Well, it's mostly just because you've had that since level 1 or 2.
1.
Since like day 1.
Yeah. So I was like, it puts pretty lights
And you
on
did
them.
that, and it was you were like, oh, it gives advantage, whatever. But then you stopped using it, and then you forgot that you had it or forgot what it did. So that I mean, it's just what happens if you don't use it. You forget what it does.
Use it or lose it.
Follow up, Amy. You should also reread what the Oath Bow does because it's real good.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
My big problem with everything that I have is that requires rolling is that I roll really shitty.
But if you get advantage on everything,
That would make it much better. Also, something that happens an awful lot, and I think it's why I don't choose these spells that build up or build on, is that generally, if you listen to any of our fights, I probably only get like 1 or 2 spells.
That's true.
And so if Fairy Fire is one of my spells, I'm not dealing damage. I know I'm setting myself up and setting everyone else up. Well, now I know that I'm setting everyone else up. But but like other things too, right? Like in the middle of a fight, I'm not going to mass cure wounds unless we absolutely desperately need it, because to me it's like, well, I attribute it, like there's nothing, I gave nothing to the winning of this fight right now. Like
there's different types of players and characters though. There are tanks and support, right? I know you like to be.
I like to walk the line.
Though.
I'm the Johnny Cash of tank and support.
Who's saying you can't cast Fairy Fire, wild shape into a tanky bear or wolf or something, and
the weirdest visual,
and then deal advantage damage as your armored bear, right? Because you now have armor when you turn into something.
I actually always had that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. You choose whether or not you drop your armor.
No,
or if
that just
it just means I don't drop it. I don't get that armor.
You as a bear or wolf now have armor, like physical armor.
Very big snore from
our
the
dog
puppy
snores.
That was a big snore.
That was real good.
Yeah.
It's just a little dog. That's a pretty big snore.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will. You know, like, and it's just about me not being a selfish bitch. You know what? I can't. I don't hit the hardest. I don't fight the fightiest. I'll just have to be my own special version of me and hope that I'm helpful enough.
You are. You magic the magiciest.
Sometimes.
Like,
It's
you're
true.
fucking amazing.
A lot of it is how you RP it too, right? Like, because once you guys start fighting, once you guys start fighting, yeah.
And my wife.
What you got? My wife.
Once you guys start fighting, a lot of the time you stop RPing. And
Yes.
it's something that I've mentioned before, but it's something that we should continue to build on and work on, is that RP within combat can still happen. Like description, everybody's getting better at description of attacks and battles, but choosing to talk to an enemy or to, arrange
Or to our friends.
or arrange, how this attack is going to happen with your friends, holding an attack because Flint is going to go hit that motherfucker super hard. And when Flint hits it, I want to hit it right after because I know it's going to be stunned. Right? Like, so there are different options that you can take and that you can start to think of as a group, as opposed to me hit hard, me cast spell, me do this.
I'm learning so much.
They all affect each other, right?
Yeah, like if I'm going to go take on some dragon and then at the end of my turn, I let you know I'm going to like dive out of the way and you get that sunbeam going. It's all good.
Yeah. Let's try to do more of that stuff.
Let's try to play better, you guys.
Okay.
What do you think?
Oh my god,
What do you
yes,
think?
we should definitely do that.
I love
I
it.
agree.
This sounds like a really good
I
strategy.
agree. So yeah, I promise I will use Fairy Fire.
It's so good.
I don't even know why.
Tom, you go ahead.
Okay, get ready because it's going to take a real long time.
Good. I'm so ready.
I got a third attack, so I'm just like 1.5 times more deadly than I was before.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then I also got ability score improvements. Yay! End of level up.
Okay, did you want to do a feat though? Is there anything that dual wheel?
No, I'm gonna keep the ability score improvements because it boosts my dexterity up by 1, so I get a 2 initiative instead of a 1, which I like. and I bumped my wisdom up a little bit, so I'm not quite as fucking tragically dumb.
Sure. Okay. The only like the feat that I would recommend if you were to take a feat would be like the dual wielding. So you have two weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you usually have your shield, but
now you have the hammer too.
I haven't been using a shield for a long time. I've been using a two-handed axe.
That's true. You've just been carrying it on your back like Thea. Like I thought it was just a style thing.
Yeah, it's just like I thought it was like our group dynamic.
Yeah. Well, so hold on. Okay.
No, I keep the two-handed axe because I have that great weapon fighting or whatever it is where I get improved criticals.
Yeah.
Oh no, I get that anyway. Yeah, great weapon skill.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I get a 1 or a 2 on a damage roll, I get to reroll.
Right.
So, which is very handy in some situations.
Okay, so for your AC though, have you been taking off your shield? Because you still have an AC of like 18, right?
Well, technically, my sheet for some reason says 13 now, which is incorrect.
Yeah, that's not. Right.
But I am let's see here. I have armor training, and I'm wearing like a spiked splint mail, which is like an AC of 18 right off the bat. So
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's where I get that big AC from.
Right.
Oh, and I got 31 hit points in 2 levels, so I'm tough.
Wow. I thought mine were good. I forget what it was now, like 19 or something, which was very good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I get I'm dwarven toughness, so I get a bonus 1 every time. I have the tough feat, so I get an extra bonus 2 every time, and then my con modifier is 4, so I get a bonus 7 on top of whatever I roll every time.
Yeah. Oh, because that's one of my ability scores. I put my con to 14, so I'd get a 2 bonus because it was still a 13 and it was only a 1. So that's what I kept. One of my and my dex, I think, is the other one I did.
Sorry, did anybody when they did their ability scores, did they bump their con? Or sorry, was that what you were saying?
That's what Carla was saying.
I bumped my con, so now now it's 14, so I have a 2 bonus.
Okay, but did you when your con went up? So it went up from 1 to 2. Yes.
Yes.
So you now get. Like it backtracks now, so you get a +1 for every level that you were before that.
Oh, it backloads?
Yeah.
I didn't know
so
that.
So if it goes up
me neither.
one
I
more,
just did it for the
at level 12, you get an extra 12 automatically.
What?
Right out of the gate.
Boom. Add that on there, Carla.
Oh God. Okay,
well, I would have added 1, so I get an extra 11.
But it went up at level 12 though, right? Oh yeah. So 11 levels.
So I took that one.
Yeah.
When I.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah. Plus your con.
So it's 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus 11 for level 11.
Did you hold on? Did you up your Constitution modifier? That's what I'm saying. So did you put your ability score into Constitution?
I haven't done an ability score yet.
Okay, so don't worry about that. Because Carla upgraded her Constitution modifier, which buffs her con, which changes her hit points.
Okay, so I can just put 11 in here.
Yes.
But then I get to do it again.
Yes, for level 12.
For level 12.
How many HP do you have now, Tom?
177.
Fuck. Damn, dude.
I have 90 hit points, you guys.
There you go.
Hey.
You guys are all in triple
mine's
digits.
like 204 now, which is a lot. I thought.
Yeah, I'm closer to 200 than I am to 150.
Oh
so.
my gosh.
It's
like
amazing.
I said, Act 3, there's lots of things. So.
And I mean, also, I designed this character to be purely the fighty bashy tank guy. So
you've built
mission
him.
accomplished.
You've min-maxed him, man. Like you built him properly. Yep.
Okay, I will decide on my spells as we mosey along
So
here.
we've leveled up our characters from a level 11 to level 12. We might not get to playing a game tonight. I'm just going to forewarn anybody. But we'll see.
Well, we are an hour into the recording.
Yeah.
So earlier when you said you were going to cut in the time, just cut in some hysterical laughter.
It's going to be good. So now let's go over on our sheets any abilities that you might have had since level 1 that you haven't used, any magic items that just have kind of been sitting
Fairy
there,
fire.
Any spells that you're like, I have this, but I don't know what it is. Let's go over that now. Let's go in the other order.
Tom goes first.
Tom first.
Okay. Yeah, so I have some things that I've kind of forgotten that I had, so this is real good that we're going through all this, and I need to rewrite like everything on my character sheet.
Yeah.
That's what
but
I
in
did
the meantime, I will just read it straight from the book because that's as good as it's going to get for right now.
And if there's anything you need from me because I gave it to you or something, like just let me know. I will find it.
Yeah, so there's a couple real fun things that I have that I haven't been using, like my Indomitable skill. So basically, I can re-roll a saving throw that I fail, which is awesome. If I do choose to re-roll, I have to use whatever the result is. But I mean, if I already failed it, then what the fuck is the harm in trying again?
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And at level 13, I can actually do that twice before a long rest. So one more level, and that bad boy's going to get up there. Which is pretty freaking sweet. Let's see here. I've got Remarkable Athlete as well, where I can add half of my proficiency bonuses and round up any strength, dex, or con check that I make that doesn't already use my proficiency bonus. Now, I don't really understand that one, because if I'm using my proficiency bonus, but I haven't already used it, like, what is happening here?
Okay, 72, and it's Remarkable Athletes. So you can add half your proficiency bonus round up to any strength, dexterity, or constitution check you make that doesn't already use your proficiency bonus.
So, like, what does that mean?
Here we go. D&D Reddit, how does Remarkable Athlete works?
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks, Reddit.
Yeah.
I mean, other than for being a complete cesspool of the internet, but,
Yeah.
Sometimes helpful.
Sometimes
funny. Some good stuff on there. Yeah, definitely sometimes funny.
So when you look at your sheet...
Okay.
Let me see here. So I'm just gonna open your sheet here, just so I'm looking at the same thing.
I feel like my privacy's been violated.
So what they mean is, do you not have any skill proficiencies?
Have you no skills, man?
No, I have like history, and that's about it.
It's not checked though.
Oh well, it should be.
Okay,
there,
so
it's checked. Oh wait, I think I probably do have
that's what that means though. So when you have acrobatics, if you don't have proficiency in it, you can choose to add half your proficiency modifier. It's kind of like the jack of all trades for the bard, where if they don't have proficiency, they can automatically add half their proficiency to anything. But yours is just
I'm pretty sure
strength and con.
I do. Okay, I'm pretty sure I do have like athletics and something else as well that was on my original like paper sheet that I just never checked the box.
So when you built your character, you should have picked 2. So acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. You could have picked 2 from those.
I'll have to go to my paper sheet. I'm sure it's on there, but
you should also get skills from your soldier background as well. So check that out.
Okay, I will check that out.
So just to make sure you're getting.
I'm going to write that down right now. Okay. Soldier background.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what that is. So anything that you don't already have proficiency in that has the dex, con, or strength check, and I'm like, make an acrobatics check, and you're like, I don't have proficiency. You get a bonus 2 because your proficiency is 4.
Okay.
So you just kind of have to remember that you have that. Okay?
Sure, which is real good. I'm good at remembering everything that I have. Couldn't even finish the sentence. Couldn't even do it.
I'll try and help too. And now that we're kind of going through it as a group, that's why I wanted to go through it as a group as well, is Carla and Amy can now say, hey, you've got that remarkable athlete thing, don't you? Can you add a bonus to that? Yeah.
Hey.
Don't you know sports?
I do know sports. It's true. Okay, yeah, all right, that's good. So there's a couple other things. I have to remember my feat of Heavy Armor Master, because any bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing non-magic damage, I get to reduce that by 3.
Oh, there you go.
So
that's good.
I have to remember that bad boy, because I don't believe I have been remembering it.
How I would...
Russ, how can you help us remember things better? Because that is where we really fall apart, to be honest. I was looking at my sheet and was like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, I think once I rewrite my sheet, I will have a better... Because like I had things like, dark vision, and like stone cunning, and like all these things that like don't make a fucking difference at the top of my list, and things that are important at the bottom of my list. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, well, if I don't scroll down, then I'm never going to see them. So I'm going to redo everything and put the important things at the top.
Yeah, I rewrote all of mine because I didn't have it as like, for some reason, on my main character sheet, I didn't have it compendium compatible, where it like gives it.
Yeah,
like,
mine is like that too.
And easy because it's just easier to sort through. So
How do I
did
fix
that.
that? Do I
had
have to redo everything?
Yeah.
I mean,
I redid it
I
all.
would copy paste what changes to like a Word document,
Yeah.
and then switch it to companion compatible, and then you can even just click and drag stuff right into it. You don't need to type everything out. The other thing I might recommend is just adding in the headline, like what that specific thing helps you with. So if it's combat, then write combat in brackets beside it, so that when you're in combat, you're like, okay, well, what skills do I have that might be able to help me? And then you can just go through and more quickly remember what you have.
Okay. Some other things that I have, I got that awesome feather fan. It's bedazzled, has glass baubles. Still don't know what it does.
You didn't write down?
Well, it was 8d8 healing spells, whatever. But Russ seemed to not like that one. So.
No?
Well, no, I just no. Okay. Oh, this was during the dragon. I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you said though is that within each bauble there is a 1d8 healing thing.
Yes,
right?
and there are 8 baubles.
So to clarify though, how does Flint use those?
Well, he has to whip out his fan all fancy like and remove a bauble from the
Excellent.
center of one of the fan.
So-
Do I just
Ritz.
crush it in my hand, or do I smoke bomb it on the ground? What do I do?
Or just remove it and then the energy absorbs? Like, how do you envision it playing out? Like for RP purposes?
Crush it in your hands. Because you're a super strong dude.
Crush it in my hand? Okay.
So you take 1 damage for glass shattering in your hand.
No, you don't.
I'm wearing gloves, thank you very
He crushes
much.
it's like, think
Yeah.
somehow like sandstone.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I get that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very fine powder. It's like anthrax. You actually end up breathing
Excellent.
it in. But unlike anthrax, this heals you. It's like cocaine.
It's the healing version
There
of
you go.
anthrax. Okay, I also have the rabbit's foot that New Lara gave me, so that's going to be very handy. I get a 1d4 extra roll whenever I need it. I'm assuming it's once per long rest.
Once a day. Yeah.
So-
yeah,
okay.
once per long
Yeah.
rest.
Let's treat that like
Okay.
the luck kind of thing. So you pick a time when you're like, before I say that passes or fails, you're like,
Yeah, the bardic inspiration.
yeah, I'm going to call and just roll this, and then add the 1d4 or whatever it was. Okay.
Okay, and I think that's pretty much the majority of my special things. I mean, I have those potions that we went over
Yep.
a couple episodes ago, so I still have those all written down.
Okay. Any magical items that you have that you want to go over?
Yes, there is the throwing axe. I need more details about that one because
Throwing axe?
that was a while ago.
Oh.
Remember, I got a magical returning
Oh, that's-
throwing
no,
axe
that's
from the
the hammer.
dragons.
That's the dwarven thrower. That's a hammer.
Oh, the hammer.
That's your
Okay,
Mew
yep.
Mew. That's
Here,
Meow. Yeah, because I hadn't made it to the end of the episode yet, but I was like, oh yeah, that throwing.
Yeah.
I thought it was an axe, but I was like, that throwing thing. I need to know more about that because it was so long ago.
yeah. So your dwarven thrower. I will give you the details. You also have a rod of lordly might. If you don't have that written down, you still have.
Oh yeah, no, I
Okay,
still have
we'll
that
get
one.
to-
That's my
we'll
ladder.
get- yeah. Well, it's more than a ladder.
Oh, that's true.
So let's maybe go over
It
that.
has, but I've only ever used it as
Yeah.
It's come in very handy as a ladder a
Yeah,
number of
so-
times.
number of
Let's
times.
go over
Yep.
that one again, just for the people, because it's got a lot of other. So your dwarven thrower, first of all, is a weapon warhammer. Requires attunement by a dwarf, which attunement just means you have.
I just have to spend.
You just
time
have to
with
spend
it.
time with
Yeah.
it, sit and talk to it, and tell
Have
it,
to cuddle it.
it's so
Yeah.
pretty, and then look at your.
Polish
It is so pretty, guys.
So you gain a +3.
I have to polish my hammer, Amy.
No, your rod of lordly might.
We're getting
We're
there.
talking about
Oh,
the
that?
hammer.
Okay, perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
So you gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. So when you roll to attack, you get a +3, and when you roll your damage, you get a +3.
Oh yeah.
It has the thrown property with a normal range of 20 feet and a long range of 60 feet. So that's normally with your bow, you have an inside and an outside number. That's what that is.
Yep.
When you hit with a ranged attack, this weapon deals an extra 1d8 damage, or if the target is a giant, 2d8 damage. Immediately after attack, the weapon flies back to your hand. You don't need to call it. It just comes back to you.
Oh damn! So when we were fighting those Ettins, that would have been real
you didn't-
handy.
you
didn't have it.
No, I
But
know,
yes.
but it would have been because I also speak giant with my counterpart there, and I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm good at remembering.
So, but the actual damage stuff, because that doesn't tell you what the actual damage is, it is 1d8 bludgeoning, versatile 1d10. So if you use it two-handed, it's a 1d10.
Okay.
And then you get the extra 1d8 if it's thrown, plus 3. Plus your normal proficiency.
I would probably
and
only
strength.
ever use it as a throwing option because my axe is way better than it damage-wise.
So how you should write that, though, is 1d8 or 1d10 plus 3 plus 8.
So plus 11 in total?
Plus 3 is the magic bonus, and then plus 8 is your strength and proficiency bonus.
Okay.
Because you are proficient, you should be proficient. It doesn't actually say on your sheet, but you should be proficient with all melee weapons and ranged. Well, not ranged. Yeah.
I'm pretty much a master of all of them.
Okay, and then your rod of lordly might, which is not his penis. I mean, it could be.
It could also be his penis.
I don't know.
I mean, what a happy coincidence if that's what Flint refers to as junk.
Guys, look what I found.
It was meant to be mine.
And you recommended me taking the dual wielding? Come on, Russ.
Okay, so your rod of lordly might. So you gained. When did you get this? You got this. This was your first? This was your first gachapon type thing, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah. So this rod has a flanged head, and it functions as a magic mace.
Again, I mean,
oh my God.
I'm reading it
just
from the
setting it up
book.
here time after time.
And it functions as a magic mace that grants a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it. So it in and of itself has damage, which I will give you.
Yeah, because I was using this as a mace, like a Warhammer style thing.
Yeah.
And then we got that like awesome axe from that dude we jumped on the highway.
Yep.
And it was a much better weapon, so I've just been using that ever
So
since.
do you have the mace damage with it still, or do you need that?
I could just use everything you got.
Okay, so the mace is 1d6 bludgeoning +3 +8. And a +3.
I also have a Dungeon Master guide, so I can look at this
That's okay.
item. I know where it is.
That's okay. We should still go through it, though, just so everybody knows, and that's what we're doing this episode, so.
Okay.
So the rod...
I just don't want everybody to be disappointed by my rod.
Lordly might and all that.
Yeah. Anyways, the rod has properties associated with 6 different buttons that are set in a row along the haft. It has 3 other properties as well, detailed below. So the 6 buttons, you can press one of these 6 buttons, and a different effect happens and lasts until you push a different button or until you push the same button again.
Say button again.
Button again. If you press button 1, the rod becomes a flame tongue, which
we already
you already have.
Yeah.
But it becomes a flame tongue and has a fiery blade that sprouts from the end opposite the rod's flanged head. Button 2. The rod's flanged head folds
Stop
down.
saying flanged head.
And 2 crescent-shaped blades spring out, transforming the rod into a magic battle axe that grants +3 to attack and damage rolls made with it.
Because, I was using it as the axe when I was using it.
If you press button 3, the rod's flanged head folds down, a spear point springs from the rod's tip, and the rod's handle lengthens into a 6-foot haft, transforming the rod into a magic spear that grants a +3 to attack and damage rolls made with it.
Oh, God.
Tell us
If he
more.
swings it really hard, does it cover whoever's in front of him with like a...
That's button
boy.
5.
Oh, boy.
Kind of spray.
So button 4...
blinds them?
Button 4 is what you've been
Two-handed
using this
use.
magic item as. It turns into a 50-foot ladder.
Yeah, it does.
A climbing pole, sorry.
Of course, because it had to sound more phallic.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, check out my climbing pole.
Climbing pole up to 50 feet long, as you specify.
It's very intimidating.
It does. I don't know what to do with that.
I
Never
am
mind.
uncomfortable.
That is too much for me. Thank you.
So, yeah.
You are not going to find a girl that gung ho. That's a big commitment.
So,
Okay, so
yeah.
hold on. Okay. Can I now talk about my boobs of godly wowza?
Yeah.
because I feel like we've been talking about like Flint's dick forever.
I mean,
Yep,
that's
it's been a very extended segment.
Anyways,
Extended
let's just get through.
segment.
Let's just get through these buttons because this is where the fun stuff happens. Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
If you press button 5, the rod transforms into a handheld battering ram and grants its user a +10 to strength checks made to break through doors, barricades, and other barriers.
Ooh, that
I
is
feel like
fun.
that could have come in handy at some point. I can't recall exactly when, but
Don't make that face at us, Russ.
If you press button 6, the rod assumes or remains in its normal form and indicates magnetic north. Nothing happens in this function. The rod also gives you the knowledge of your approximate depth beneath ground or height above it. So it acts as a compass and a
Barometer.
barometer. And, well, maybe
That's
not.
not a
Sort of
barometer.
divining rod.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now it has...
If it's gonna rain.
There's still 2 more options.
that's all the buttons you have, but now you have 3 other properties. So when you hit with this, so you have Drain Life, Paralyze, or Terrify.
I don't think you've ever used any
Never.
of those.
I don't
once.
think
This is
this is
exciting.
ever a thing I saw before.
So Drain Life, when you hit a creature with a melee attack using the rod, you can force the target to make a DC 17 con saving throw. On a failure, the target takes an extra...
That's a hard save.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just a fucking rare, legendary, magical item that
we've
I
been
gave
using
you.
as a
Listeners,
goddamn
I'm
fucking
going to
early.
peel back the curtain for a second. When Russ gave me this item, he had printed it out on little pieces of paper and given me them, and I don't think he ever gave me this part of it, to be honest with you.
I feel like I did, but I don't know.
We never
It
know.
also was like literally years
Yeah,
ago.
it's like
It
3
was,
years
yeah.
ago
Like,
at this
I
point.
just
This-
looked at the flame
yeah.
tongue stuff that's still in my book, and it was like it was printed out, which means it was before Russ and Amy moved to Korea.
Yeah.
It was like
Yep.
3 years ago.
Okay.
And you didn't
So,
hold on to those
it's
little
not
pieces
so
of
bad, we
paper,
don't
Tom?
remember.
Okay,
Oh my
so
gosh.
let's get through this here because this is like if you hit with this. Okay, so on a failure, the target takes an extra 46 necrotic damage, 4d6, not 46.
Yeah.
And you regain a number of hit points equal to half that necrotic damage.
What?
What?
See, like, if I knew this was going on, I would have been using this the whole time.
Wow.
This is a good one.
This
Wow.
property can't be used
Sweet.
again until next dawn. So you use it once, but you
Okay.
can regain, up to 12 damage if you roll max on everything, right? Or you can
Sure, if
12 half.
things are desperate, then
Which
go
they
time.
are, like
Number 2,
always.
Paralyze.
Constantly.
When you hit a creature with a melee attack using this rod, you can force that target to make a DC 17 strength saving throw. On a failure, the target is paralyzed for 1 minute. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on success. And again, that property can't be used until next dawn.
He is paralyzed.
Question for you,
'cause
Russ.
He
Yeah.
has been struck.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I were to use this and land the paralyzing blow, could you play Paralyzer by Finger 11
As
when
I just
it
started
happens?
to sing it.
Yeah.
We're on the same wavelength, you and I, Tom.
Okay,
Get some can con.
I'll message them. Finger 11.
What if we got their permission? They're nerds, man.
Yeah.
A couple of them play, like, World of Warcraft and
Okay,
stuff.
so,
So it's possible.
Tom, that you're on messaging them and getting them on the show.
Great, okay, yeah.
Or just saying yes, you can use the song
No,
Paralyzer.
get them on the show.
Okay.
or
well,
both. Yeah.
Shoot high. Shoot
Okay,
high.
all right, yeah.
Okay. Last one, Terrify.
Final option.
While holding the rod, you can use an action to force each creature you can see within 30 feet of you to make a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw. On a failure, a target is frightened of you for 1 minute. They can repeat
Damn.
that at the end, but that means they can't move towards you. Like that's when the dragon uses its frightful presence.
Yeah.
They can't move towards you. They can't attack you. They
afeared.
can't until they save from that. They can't go near you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bust this weapon out again, guys.
Like
I think
honestly,
we also forget to swap between weapons.
yeah, like you have
You
your
know what I
defaults
mean?
at
'Cause,
this point, right?
You kind of get
Like, you
focused
get-
on the one you're using,
The
and
axe
that's
you have
it. Yeah.
does a shit ton of damage, but like this one,
But nothing special.
this one,
yeah.
if you're looking to get a little life back or put the guy down, but not. I mean, you can just tell me if you're not wanting to kill him, but whatever.
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, like there's huge bonus to using this weapon as opposed to the ones you have. Aside from
Well,
just
and now that
straight
I have a third attack, any damage offset that I would lose from using my giant bastard axe all of a sudden isn't so bad.
Okay. Anything else you got on your sheet that you need?
No, I think that's pretty much everything.
Okay.
Let me
Great.
just double check here real quick. Flipping pages. Oh, I'm sometimes taken over by a dragon man, but we already knew that. All right, onward and upward.
Yeah, well, that
Every once in a while.
narratively we'll be delving into that more coming up.
Ooh, and I also have a note here that says free stew at Beefy Stews. So
Yeah. You just got to find where Stu left to, and you got that Stu on lock, man.
excellent.
So if we're going in reverse, are you ready, or do you
Yeah,
want or do you want Carla to go first?
I'm ready.
Okay.
But Carla hasn't spoken in a long time, so if Carla wants to go.
It's okay. No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I've got less cool stuff.
I'm excited to find out what you've got now. It's like a whole new game.
So let's go through, like I said,
Right.
let's go through your abilities, your magic stuff, and some spells that you probably haven't used in a while.
Okay. My abilities, like my proficiencies.
More like your
Here.
class and racial stuff that might help you, like his remarkable athlete thing and
Dark vision, naturally. My fate ancestry, which gives me saving throws against being charmed.
magic
So-
can't put you to sleep.
Okay, so does this mean that I should have had... Jesus, is Tom okay?
I think Tom.
Tom finished talking. He's going to go get a drink now.
I wonder if
He probably had to pee. He's been waiting this whole time.
those pamplemousse beers are cold enough for him. Okay, so does this mean like when
He's getting a book.
a dragon
Yeah.
wants to
I dropped
do
a bunch of paper. Sorry.
a feared on me? Is that them trying to charm me? And do I have a fucking
okay,
advantage
so
against that? See,
Fear,
I don't use stuff because I don't know what it does.
charm, and frightened are different things. So a charmed creature can't attack the charmer. So this is like if somebody comes up to you and you are under my spell and you will do as I say, that type of thing.
Okay.
Frightened, they have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of fear is within its sight. So whether
Okay,
they're
so
attacking...
there's no saving
No.
throw. Yes, there is.
Well, there's a saving throw
yeah,
against
right,
it. Like there's a DC. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the answer is no. So I can't be charmed. No one is charming to me. Trance, I could meditate for 4 hours instead of sleeping.
Yeah, you've used that. Yeah.
Researcher, my background, I know where to find information. I'm immune to poison and disease. Oh, I can't be frightened.
There you go. So
I can't be
that
charmed
is
or
something
frightened by
that you
elementals
need.
or face.
Okay, elementals are face, but dragons, yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, but poison and disease.
Yeah, we found
knowing
that out the hard way.
You shouldn't have taken any poison damage off of anything that happened in that cave.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we figured that out after.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also resistant poison, so I should have been halving my damage.
So, Nulara, you still died okay.
yeah.
Sorry. I have,
Just a weak little human.
Yeah.
but we love you. We keep you around like a pet.
True. It's a true story.
We know you're going to go before us. And it's going to be sad, but then we'll get a new
Yeah.
human after a while.
just get a new
after
human.
after
No,
enough
it's
time
true.
has passed.
Let's find a new level
Born,
one.
and then
Ultimate lesson in sadness.
Okay, I have a ring of spell storing. It currently holds 3rd level healing word, 1st level guiding bolt, and 1st level searing smite.
So you've had
I-
those since the first gachapon.
Yeah. I can also put 2 spells in there.
Nope.
No?
So that holds up to 5 levels of spells at any time.
3rd level, 1st level, 1st
So
level.
if you
There's
cast,
5 levels.
yeah, if you cast a 5th level spell in there, it can only hold that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Also, I'm lucky.
But you also have to use those before you can put anything in.
Yar.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm
Yar.
Yar, pirate Amy.
You're lucky. Yeah.
I'm super lucky. I have the inexplicable luck. And I have 3 luck points that I can use whenever I make an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw. I can, which I did use this when we were with the dragon. I can spend a luck point to roll an additional d20.
So this isn't a druid or race thing. This is a feat
Feat.
that you picked up when I said, "Hey guys, go pick a couple feats." So this is one of those feats.
Yeah. I can also spend a luck point when an attack roll is made against me. I can roll a d20 and then choose whether the attack uses my roll or their
Yeah.
roll. If more than one creature spends a luck point to influence an outcome, that doesn't really matter. I get those back after a long rest. And then I also have Magic Initiate, which is another feat, which means I got extra spellsies.
And you picked warlock spells.
I did pick warlock spells because they were badass. I got 2 cantrips and 1 1st level spell.
Okay.
But I can only ever use them once in that spell slot. I can't use them at higher levels, and I get it back after a long rest.
Okay, so that's your abilities. Magic items.
Okay. Well, I have a potion. I have Pass Without a Trace still.
For 3 years.
But we haven't needed it because you can cast that spell, Carla. So
Okay,
That's
so
true.
as we're going through magic items, though, look at what you have, look at what you need, and look at what you can use as like a sell point in a game. Like you can go into a store and say, "Hey, I've got these potions. You want to buy them?" And then you can get
or
money.
I want
or
that
you
on the shelf
trade.
right there. Let's trade these.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a Pass Without a Trace. Trace. I also have 16 healing kits, which we can't ever seem to remember what a healing kit does.
Yeah, you don't need 16.
Stabilizes you if you're
Yeah.
dying.
Cool.
You don't need 16, but
Yeah.
You have 'em.
Well, it was Fantasy Costco. There was a deal. I have 0 dragon arrows right now, apparently. I have 20 precious stones, which I assume I'm using for my spells. Never really
You-
got into that.
yeah, you picked up precious stones in like a hoard somewhere. So they can be sold for money.
Old Horde House.
Right? They can be traded for gold or used as money.
I gotta update this. I no longer have a bag of holding.
Okay, so that said, what was in your bag of holding?
Oh, fuck. My precious stones were in my goddamn bag of holding, motherfucker.
So you no longer have 20 precious stones. Was your Hypsilanter in your bag of holding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a real word you just said?
Hypsil
Hypsil?
antler.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
remember those
gotcha.
funny Fey dudes?
I just heard it at, I just heard it as like one word, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
Hypsil antler.
The old Hypsilanter.
Okay, hold on.
Z or Z.
Because in game and in the episode, you just handed her the bag. So what I'm
I
gonna
can't go back now. I can't take that back. There is no take back.
What I'm gonna tell you though is just maybe put them on a different part of your sheet, and if you ever come across that character again, if there's anything you want back, then you might have to barter for it, right? Like.
You're like, hey, remember that bag of holding I gave you, and it also had a whole bunch of stuff in it that was really cool that maybe you don't need, like that weird antler.
So where were those 16 healing kits?
I probably had a lot of them in the bag of holding, but I also had some on I've got like my little utility belt.
Right.
So
I'm not.
Your cargo shorts. Of
I'm not trying to dump your character sheet right now, but I'm just trying to
No, it's I
logically
probably had 5 on my person.
Okay.
And the rest. I mean, who carries 16 healing kits in their pockets? Let's be really honest
When you
with
have a
ourselves
bag
right
of
now.
holding.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you have a bag of holding, you put everything in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't,
Although I'm going to say you left your oath bow on the train.
my oath bow is always slung.
Okay,
like-
good.
Crossbar.
Yeah.
Along with your shield that was totally just for decoration for the longest time.
I have 3 uncommon healing potions. Those were with me.
Okay.
Shield, hide armor. I had my boots of levitation on,
Yep.
which are badass.
Hover boots.
They're my hover boots. I have a yellow prank potion,
Oh yeah.
which
Yeah, you
Addison
do.
was very pleased with herself today when I told her, I'm like, remember that potion that you helped Dad make? And she was like, which one? And I was like, the one that turns people banana yellow. And she was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you turned me banana yellow. She goes, I got you. I'm going to make a green one next.
Yeah, she came up to me. She's like, "Dad, do you need any more potions?" I was like, "Not today, kid."
She also told me she wanted to make a potion that when someone drank it, it covered them head to toe in slime for 1 million years.
Yeah, I didn't put that one in there. But
Wow.
I was like,
That is
you're brutal.
yeah, it's funny
is a brutal
funny that she
punishment.
remembered that because she did come up with that one. Yeah.
I have an amulet that I just recently got and obviously was wearing, and that gives me that's the switch
the
into
barding for your
wild shape,
yeah.
and I have my
So
armor.
When you turn into the wolf, you now have +3 AC as soon as you change.
Yeah.
So you're not like 11, you're 14.
And I have my garter of holding.
Right.
Right. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
your bank.
my
that's
bank
your
account.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So that's that.
Okay.
And I did choose my new spells.
Okay. Did you want to go over your oath bow? Because that also is a magic
There
weapon.
it is. Okay, here we go. Oh, I also have my Jade Serpentine owl.
She
Guacamole.
was on you?
Yes, she's always on me.
Okay,
She's
check.
always in a little pocket that
Okay.
I have, like, close to my heart.
Okay.
I wouldn't just throw her in an endless bag of holding. What a terrible... Be like, I need to get my owl.
In you go,
Hold on a
Guac.
second. And I'm, like, rummaging through, like, what, a room? A room
No,
full
you don't
of
have
stuff.
to. You just say
No.
say what you want. You reach in and it's there.
Yeah, but where
That's
is
the
she
bag of holding.
floating when she's in there? So I have a bunch of gold, silver, and copper, but that got put
That's all
into
in your
the
bag. Yeah.
the multiple fanny packs of holding that we have. Amulet's Dragon.
So that you picked up, like the first cave you went into, you picked up like a Cult of the Dragon amulet.
All right.
And that's what that is. Is like it has an insignia on it.
I
And
think
it
I
is
kept
like
that in my pocket. I think maybe that's like one of those things where that might come in handy later. I don't know.
You've secretly been wearing it the whole time because you're a member of the Cult of the Dragon?
I'll never tell. I also put 200 gold to share. I think at some point we got a bunch of gold,
just
and instead of divvying
I
it
kind of
out,
just stopped writing down money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped writing down money too.
I also have oak bark from my lovely gift from New Lara. That I have oak bark dash barkskin 217.
You cast once a day, bark skin, and it's on page 217.
Oh, it's on page 217.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you should have 3 nutshells for me as well.
Yeah, 3 acorn shells that make confusion.
Yeah, which is on 224.
Acorns of Confusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a good band name.
And I also have a charm bracelet with a moon charm. That means I can reroll wisdom saves.
Where'd you get that from? Charm bracelet with a moon charm? Oh, right.
The guy with the thumbs up.
I wasn't looking over there. I
Yeah,
was
no, he
looking. I
gave
was like,
me
where
he
did
gave,
that
you the
come
pretty,
from?
he gave you the prettiest thing.
Yep.
So
It's made out of Solarian
I
True
have a
Steel.
regular
Right.
Get
Solarian
with the
True
program.
Steel, which I don't think I've ever used. But I don't think I've had many
I don't
wisdom
think we've had a lot of
saves.
whiz saves.
Yeah, you went through a lot of wisdom saves in the
But I
Crypt of
did well,
Tiberius, but then
because I have a wisdom
that
modifier
after.
of 4.
Yeah.
Oh, and no, of 8. I have a bonus of 8.
saves, yeah.
My wisdom's balling already, but that gives me extra in case I'm having a bad
Okay, do
day.
you still want your Oathbow stuff?
Yeah, where's my fucking Oathbow stuff?
I don't know. You have Oathbow under your weapons, but
Yeah, you should reread it because it's real good too.
so
Okay, here we go. Disadvantage if sworn foe is alive. Swift defeat to my enemies. I have to say that before I use it. I wish it was something super awesome like Muy Caliente or whatever, but that's fine. I wrote swift debts to you who have wronged me.
And then they're just so broke and depressed.
But you know why it says that? This
I went poor so quick.
This was the time when I was using the iPad mostly,
Yeah.
and we had to voice.
Oh, yeah, that was a nightmare on Roll20 with the
I
iPad.
had to voice everything, so I didn't type it. I was just doing voice to text recognition, and it did its best.
okay, so
So hold on. Choose one enemy. I get +2 advantage to attack. That's all it has in here.
I know there's a lot more to it.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
okay, I'm going to read it from the top to the bottom because that's not even entirely correct.
Oh, God.
So when you knock an arrow on this bow, it whispers in Elvish, "Swift defeat to my enemies."
Oh, I don't have to say it.
It speaks to you. When you use this weapon to make a ranged attack, you can, as a command phrase, say "Swift death to you who have wronged me." The target of your attack becomes your sworn enemy until it dies or until dawn 7 days later. You can have only one such sworn enemy at a time. When your sworn enemy dies, you can choose a new one after the next dawn. When you make a ranged attack roll with this weapon against your sworn enemy, you have advantage on the roll. In addition, your target gains no benefit from cover other than total cover, and you suffer no disadvantage due to long range. So it doesn't matter how far away they are.
Ooh.
It goes.
So this thing has run away. I can't even see it anymore. I can whisper to this arrow, "Swift
Well,
death to
as long
you
as
who have
there's no-
wronged me."
well, you would have
Total
had to
cover.
whisper it to it
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
but
So if the attack hits, your sworn enemy takes an extra 3d6 damage. And while your sworn enemy lives, you have disadvantage on attack rolls with all other weapons. So as soon as you swear this weapon, this is the weapon you have to use until you kill that thing.
Okay, now what if do I have disadvantage on all other things while fighting this thing, or just in my life in general?
While your sworn enemy lives, so until dawn 7 days later, if it still lives, you have disadvantage on attack rolls with all other weapons.
Okay, so if I'm fighting even something different,
Yeah. So if you're using like a quarterstaff, meh.
even if I'm not fighting it,
Yes.
shit.
So
Well, that's
you
okay. That's
It
what
doesn't
spells
matter
are for.
if you mostly use. Yeah, I was going to say if you're mostly using magical attacks.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, it's not such a big deal.
doesn't really matter. But essentially, RP wise, it's driving you. You've now declared this as your enemy that is the be all and end all to kill. And the Oathbow recognizes that and says, if you don't use me, you're going to have a tough time trying to kill anything else with any other weapon until we take down that bad guy.
Right.
Okay. What's next?
Very neat. I will use it more. My spells.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
okay.
just go through the ones that you haven't really used. Everybody knows that you have Blight and that you have other
A
things.
cantrip guidance, I never use. I can touch a willing creature, and once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the ability check of its choice. It can roll the die before or after making the ability check. The spell then ends.
It gives somebody a buff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if someone was trying to do something very particular, you could help them out with that.
I also have Guiding Bolt, which I never use, but I should, because a flash of light streaks towards a creature of your choice within range. Okay, here's a question. When it says make a ranged spell attack, I got to roll for that shit, don't I? Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
It's
There's
like-
a reason why I don't use some of these spells, ladies and gentlemen, because I can't roll worth shit.
A ranged spell attack would be like you're making a bow attack.
Yeah, but on a hit, the target takes 4d6 radiant damage. This is a cantrip that I can use all the time. And the next attack roll made against this target before the end of your next turn has advantage. So if I go and I hit it with this, then Carla goes, she gets advantage, and then Tom goes and he gets
On the
advantage.
next, it's just the
No, on the next turn.
Just the next one, I think it's
on the next attack roll. So the very next attack roll. So only one person
just
gets to
one. Okay.
get advantage.
Yeah. Thanks to the mythical dim light gathered by the target until then. So it's just, you can see it a lot better, so you can hit it a lot better. I also have a couple new ones which I haven't used. Eldritch Blast, which is a crackly energy, and the target takes 1d10 force damage.
You use that in the against Kuth and stuff.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and Toll the Dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Fairy Fire, we know.
And I used it in Carla's bonus episode.
Yeah, there we go. I was like, I know that I've heard that just recently.
I don't think I used, this is new, but the Arms of
That's
Hadar.
from your wizard stuff.
Yeah. So
Warlock.
Warlock, sorry,
yes. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from me and batter all creatures within 10 feet of me. I imagine that to be kind of like Raven from Teen Titans.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Okay, I gotta say one thing before we go. So I was watching Deadpool 2 the other day, and the first trailer was like super duper grisly, like fucking brutal stuff.
Yeah.
The second trailer was Teen Titans Go to the Movies, and the third trailer was the new Purge movie.
That's awesome.
So I was like, this is a very wide range of
They know their demographic, though.
appropriateness.
They
they
fit right
do.
within it.
Boy.
Yep. So anyway, my Raven-like tendrils make 2d6 necrotic damage. And it can't take any reactions. My levitate boots, I can, it's only me, and I can go up to 20 feet and stay suspended for the duration. It lasts up to 10 minutes. Yeah. And it can be up to 500 pounds, so I guess I could carry someone. Mm-hmm. I'd probably have to make a strength check that I would probably fail miserably.
You gotta be able to carry it.
Just don't use the rainbow dice. You'll be
Oh
fine.
my god, those rainbow dice. Okay, so I added a new one on. This is a brand new one. I took off something else and added a new one here. Flame Blade, because obviously I have a new Lara complex and I want to
Everybody's
be
got
just
a
like
flame
her
blade now.
because she's so cool.
The Flame Blade Bandits.
But mine isn't an actual blade. So I evoke a fiery blade in my free hand. So it's about the size and shape of a scimitar. And if I let go of it, it disappears, but I can evoke it again as a bonus action. So it never really disappears, I guess. And yeah, it's a melee spell attack, and they take 3d6 fire damage. So I have a fiery thing that doesn't deal as much damage, but a little
Probably
bit.
buffs at higher levels too, right?
3d6 is
No, it doesn't.
not bad.
You cast at higher
Oh,
levels.
sorry, yes. 4th level or higher, it increases by 1d6 for every 2 slots above 2nd level.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah, 3d6 is still pretty good.
yeah, it is pretty good for a 2nd level
Spell.
Yeah. I decided to remove a 3rd level spell because they're all absolute shit. And then they are. No, I'm
Hear
sorry.
that, Wizards of the Coast?
Yeah, I really did not like
kidding,
any
we
of them.
love you.
Don't let's throw them in top
Whose
net.
name? Who are we calling out today?
Now, I haven't looked in Xanathar's guide because for some reason D20 doesn't feel necessary to update
You have
it
to
with.
pay for it.
Well, I'm
'Cause
paying for
it's an
shit.
add-on.
Anyway, I will look, and if I do find one, I will remove something else because I have the right amount of spells. I just move them in different areas. So I just removed one, so now I have an extra spell slot that I can just.
It's not that
Well,
you
I
have an
didn't
extra
remove
spell
it.
slot.
I put a different one into a different level.
'Cause
So
you're
I added Stone Skin to a level 4. So it turns a willing creature as hard as stone. Interdict joke here. Until the spell ends, the target has
Really a theme so far tonight.
has resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. So it's kind of like bark skin, I guess.
But even stronger.
But stone?
because it's stone.
And then I also added to my 4th level, Ice Storm, which, in a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder, there's like a rock hard ice pounds to the ground, and each creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage on an unsuccessful save. So that's pretty good. And then I also took out Gesh, because everything I wanted to control, I couldn't. And that was frustrating me. And that meant I had a 5th level spell slot that wasn't doing shit. So I took that off.
I would have kept it. Because you know that you're going to walk across somebody who is pissing you off, but they're like a low level thing, and you can just tell them to go fuck off. Or
do
just
that
follow
anyway.
follow you around and dance for the rest of their life.
Instead of that,
Rest of their life.
because that'd be super weird. I don't think Thea wants anyone around her that much.
You could cover them in slime for 1,000,000 years.
I decided to choose Contagion. This is super cool. So my touch inflicts disease. So I make a melee spell attack against a creature, and when I hit them, they get one of these wonderful diseases. It could be blinding sickness. Pain grips a creature's mind. Its eyes turn milky white. It has disadvantage on wisdom checks, wisdom savings throw, and are blinded. A filth fever, which sounds disgusting. A raging fever sweeps through the creature's body. It has disadvantage on strength checks, saving throws, and attack rolls that use strength. Flesh rot.
Sounds like something a doctor would have diagnosed in the 1800s.
Oh,
Oh, he's got the filth
filth
fever.
fever.
Yep, totally.
The flesh rot, which comes shortly after the filth fever, I'm sure. The creature's flesh decays. It has disadvantage on charisma checks because no one's charming when their skin's falling off.
It has disadvantage on living.
Yep. And is vulnerable to all damage. So it just has
Awesome.
disadvantage on everything, I guess.
It's vulnerable, which means it takes double.
No, it just
Oh, it
takes
takes
double
double.
damage.
That's fantastic. Or mind fire. The creature's mind becomes feverish. They have disadvantage on intelligence checks, saving throws, and the creature behaves as if it's under the effects of confusion spell during the combat. Or I can make it have a seizure. It's overcome with shaking. It has disadvantage on dexterity checks and saving throws and attacks that use dexterity. Or slimy doom. The creature begins to bleed uncontrollably. It has disadvantage on constitution and saving throws. And whenever the creature takes damage, it is stunned until the end of its next turn. It's pretty dark
Sounds like
shit.
a good one.
Plus, Slimy Doom just sounds kind of cool.
It does. All of those sound good.
Yeah, but the flesh rot, double damage. That's awesome. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And then, you took Heal and Sunbeam
Heal and
that we
Sunbeam.
discussed.
So some of
earlier.
these I have too many in that particular level. So I have to pick and choose depending on the situation what I want to use.
What you're saying when you say too many is that you have more spells than you have spell slots. And you were treating it as I should have one spell per spell slot, which is not the case. You don't need that.
I got confused.
You as a druid are allowed to know X number of spells, which is your druid level plus your wisdom.
So many spells.
But yeah, you have spell slots that scale up as you level up. So you can know 12 6th level spells at this point, but you can only use one, right? Yeah. So you have to choose where you want to put them and where they're most effective.
Am I allowed to have 12 altogether? Is that my number?
No, it's your druid level plus your wisdom modifier. So 12 plus whatever that is.
So it should be like
20.
16?
No, that's your attack. Go back to your core.
Oh, so it should be 16 because 12 plus 8.
Your wisdom modifier. No, your wisdom modifier is not 8.
Oh.
It's 4.
Oh,
so
it's
you
4.
can have 16.
Probably 4.
16.
Yeah.
20.
32.
97. I don't know.
I think you'd need like
That's
like a
possible.
26.
5 is the highest you can go.
You need a 26 wisdom in order to get a plus 8.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm counting everything, but some of these don't count because they're my fucking...
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's it for me. It took a long time, Carla. I'm sorry. We shouldn't have started backwards again because it had already
We chatted about my rod for way longer,
so
I think.
long.
That was the main thing. So me, like my 2 main magical items that like never come up because we've had them since we started are the Gauntlets of Ogre Power, which makes my strength 19. And I'm honestly surprised no one has asked why I am so strong because I am just a human ranger. And maybe we mentioned it in early episodes. I honestly can't remember. But I had those from when we were still playing at the table, so from before we even started. So, I have those Gauntlets of Ogre Power, which give me, they're just like gauntlets that I wear that give me a strength of 19. And Flame Tongue, which is my main weapon that I always use. So I probably don't need to explain that all that much because it just has been a part of the thing for the whole thing. Other things I have, I've just got some dope new shit just recently, which would be like that animated shield.
Sorry, before we move on, do you know, say you were to, I'm not saying, every time I say something, it makes me sound like I'm going to take something away. But say you lose the Gauntlets of Ogre Power, do you know what your base strength is? If you take them off, how strong are you?
Let me look on my paper sheet. I think I probably do because it's probably still on my old one. Like I wouldn't have transferred it, but I do. It was an amazing 12.
So that's just something to know.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's just, of course, I haven't updated it like in years because I have those gauntlets, right?
But
I do have it written down just in case.
Like, because that fuels into your attack bonuses and that fuels into like everything. So if those disappear for whatever reason, then we have to know what it goes back to for a lot of things.
For whatever reason.
For example.
We're just talking about mechanics of what happens, right?
It's a good question. Yeah, I do have it. So it's on my old actual paper sheet. I got that shield, which I just got. I have my banana orb.
Banana yellow.
I have an alchemist ring, which gives me an extra d6 when I have a healing potion. I have this under, well, it is a spell, but it's kind of not a spell, but I have that boomerang arrow, which was not one of my spell slot spells, but I can cast it, and then my arrows, let me see. I think it is all of them.
Yeah. If they miss, they come back. Yeah.
Yeah, they come back to me. Spells are all just the ones I've always had, except my one new one is actually pretty good. It's Conjure Barrage.
That is a good one, yeah.
Which is a pretty good one, especially because most of my spells, I'm not particularly magical, so they're not amazing, but this one is pretty good. If I throw a non-magical weapon or fire non-magical ammunition, so like an arrow or whatever, or even probably a rock with my sling.
Yeah, or a spear or anything,
Each creature in a 60-foot cone has to succeed on a dex save, and they take 3d8 damage on a failed save.
Nice.
Sorry.
Damn.
So it's a pretty good one when we're in combat, especially because sometimes we do end up being in like a ranged fight attack, and then it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of useless. So it's good. It's good that I that's why I took that one, just because I'm obviously better up close with Flame Tongue. I also got Dragon Slayer. Again, this was just very recently that happened, but that is my pretty badass sword. I mean, I will still mostly use Flame Tongue, except against a dragon, because it gives me a shitload of extra damage against dragons, particularly.
Yeah.
Like 3 extra d6 plus the 2 d10 that it normally gives. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh.
2d10 plus
That's
strength
actually
plus,
better.
Yeah.
You might want to use that.
I was
all
just
the
gonna.
time,
Well,
yeah.
I don't get as good of an attack bonus on it though.
Yeah.
But anyway, but against a dragon, that's a fuckload of damage. Damn. Against a dragon, I'd have 2d10 plus 2 plus 3d6 plus 4 because they're my greater favorite enemy.
Jesus.
Damn, Carla.
In hindsight, we could have kicked this dragon's ass.
Well, I didn't have that yet. I just got it.
Yeah.
I just got
yeah.
it. That was like, we found that
It's like
in that dragon
you
slayer.
beat the boss battle and then you find all the cool stuff to beat the boss.
Yeah. Or you don't beat the boss battle,
Lame.
but somehow.
Yeah.
So, and a bunch of my other stuff I already talked about, like my feats, I'll touch on just like
Sure.
briefly. One of the ones I picked is Alert, so that is what gave me a +5 to my initiative, which is why I have an 8 initiative. I can't be surprised, and enemies can't hide from me. And then I also have Durable, which upped my con by 1 and gives me a minimum hit die increase of 4, so I can't go lower than that. I
Right.
think a lot of this other stuff I already talked about when I was kind of talking about my other stuff.
Yeah, just 6, sorry.
Yeah, uncommon healing
that's right.
kits. Blah blah. Special
On
healing potion that we got just then.
magical...
No. Oh God.
What?
What just happened?
I don't know what you said that just made
Magical
me.
healing potion?
No.
Okay, you figure that out.
Yeah, I got rings from the dragon. Fuck.
Oh, yeah, from... Yeah,
We
don't
all
forget
got
the
something
stuff
from the
that
dragons.
you got from the Dragon Council, right? Because we played that a while ago.
I think the only thing I got is
Yeah, you got the throwing axe. Nulara got some armor, and Thea got the rings of... I have all the details here. I can give them to you.
I'm gonna need that.
Sorry, just going back, because we didn't touch
Sorry,
on the...
Carla.
We just didn't touch on the belt. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this...
Dwarven kind, I get you.
Of Dwarven kind, because we didn't touch on that for Flint,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which you have, but...
I've been wearing nonstop because it gives me
Yeah.
+2 to con.
Yes. So, the one thing...
And if I shave my beard off, it will give me a glorious beard. the next
Yeah.
day.
Oh, nice.
Right.
The one thing about that, because you guys often run into the issue of you're like, well, I can see, Nulara can't see. The Belt of Dwarven Kind gives you dark vision.
Oh, she could wear your belt.
So if
And
you
grow a
were to
bitchin'
give
beard.
Nulara, like you would lose all the con bonus, like you would lose all the bonuses while you're not wearing it, obviously.
Sure.
But if it's going into like a deep dark, underdark cavern or whatever, and you need Nulara to see without having flame tongue or a banana orb or something to draw attention to you, that is an option. To just
Okay, yeah,
have
that's a
her
good
wear
idea.
the belt, and then she has dark vision, and then resistance to poison and damage and all that, which
Beard
Flint
growing
already
ability,
has.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's good. It's actually, I'm glad you remind me of the Dragon Council stuff because I had written it down, but obviously I don't actually have it until now.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it, like, was there a name or anything? So
Yep.
what happened was I got a patch that I can,
So what she
that turns into armor.
So what she did is she RP'd it like she does. Way to go, Victoria.
Loved
She
it.
tore off a piece
she
of
killed
her
it.
clothing or something, and it turned into plate armor of lightning
And
resistance.
then you dragged it away like clanging and like.
So
Good.
you have resistance to lightning damage while you wear this armor. But what we can do is, because that's not, let's retcon what that is, because that's not as big as some of the other things that.
Because what I wrote down is that it is to resist chromatic dragons. I don't know what that means.
It was specifically lightning damage. But we're going to say that it's armor of invulnerability.
Okay.
So
can you just send me a pic of that? I mean, please explain it now for listeners, but.
Yeah, I will explain it. But yes, I will send it to you. So you have resistance to non-magical damage while you wear this armor. So any non-magical damage, you have resistance, and you take half damage if you take any damage. Additionally, you can use an action to make yourself immune to non-magical damage for 10 minutes, or until you're no longer wearing the armor. Once this special action is used, it can't be used again until next dawn. So you have to... so while you're wearing it, you have resistance, so you take half damage if you get hit. Mm-hmm. And then once a day, you can say, I want to be immune to slashing damage. And anytime slashing damage hits you, you take 0 damage.
Okay.
Damn.
So you just have to pick real good what kind of damage you want to be immune to.
You don't pick it right out of the gate, obviously. You wait till you get hit a couple times, see what they're dealing.
First thing when you wake up, you're like, bludgeoning today.
Yeah, seems like a bludgeoning kind of day.
That said, it's only 10 minutes, right? So you pick it partway through a battle, and you're like, okay, for the rest of this battle, this guy isn't going to be able to hurt me, or these couple people aren't going to be able to hurt me. Obviously,
if you saw a bunch of reinforcements run in the room with axes, well, pick slashing damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I want to run at someone and attack them and not be vulnerable to their counterattack.
We'll say, because you already have armor, we'll say that the armor that you have, like your AC won't change, but you'll have these added bonuses to your ability. So you're going to be taking half damage basically to anything non-magical.
Unless your AC is AC Slater, because you'll become a lot more rounded as the series goes on.
So we'll retcon that. It was supposed to be lightning damage, but this is much better. And the weapons that got doled out, it wasn't actually balanced the way that I had set it up. So let's do that.
Fucking Ranger gets screwed again.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding. No, it's fine. It's all coming up, Carla, now. And I think that's it, or maybe it's not, but that's all I have.
Let's go. Maybe let's go through some of your spells, because, like you said, you're non-magical, but you do have a lot of spells that can help you, right? So let's maybe go through some of those.
So I have, starting at the low end, I have Hail of Thorns, which just throws out some thorns on a thing. Gives them an extra D10, so it's not bad, but that's on a ranged weapon attack.
One thing to remember is that's a bonus action too, so that doesn't count as a regular action. So you cast that, and then you can still do your attack, or 3 attacks, or whatever you have.
So if you were using your bow, you could cast that and then go through with your attacks like normal.
Yep.
Okay.
Because in combat, you have your movement, you have a bonus action, and then you have your regular action, and then if you have extra actions, that's what gets added up. But so you can move, cast that, and then still fire an arrow and still do extra damage.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's just because it's ranged. Like, I have maybe used it, but because it's ranged, I don't use it a lot. Animal Friendship. Animals are the best. Hunter's Mark. I have used this as well, although not often, but I get an extra D6, and then it gives me, like, a wisdom bonuses and stuff on it.
Yeah.
That's like the real low level version of the oath bow. It's just like I say, like, I'm gonna get you. Yeah. And then sometimes I do.
Well, it gives you advantage and stuff too, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Ensnaring Strike, same thing, weapon attack, and then like some vines and stuff come out and try to restrain them.
Mm-hmm.
Pass Without Trace. Mm-hmm. Come on, we all know what that does. Come up lots. Talked about that a bit. Water Walk. I can walk on water, and so can you guys.
Which we used one time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And then you rode on your alligators too, so it all worked out. Wind Wall, just like it sounds, a big wall, and it will it does give bludgeoning damage, and can blow away like fog and smoke and stuff. I mean, honestly, I just need to like use my spells more.
Yeah.
And then Conjure Barrage, which is my new one that I just got on this most recent level up, which is a real fun one. It's kind of,
So,
real fun.
I guess the biggest thing I'd recommend for your spells and stuff is just look at which ones are bonus actions, because you can do those no matter what and then still do all your regular, like a Hunter's Mark, you can use that and then still do all your sword attacks, right? And do extra damage and have advantage, and like it all stacks, and then you get bonuses for hitting this one thing. Because Hunter's Mark is a bonus. The Hail of Thorns is a bonus.
By the way, that Hail of Thorns, if you use it at a higher level, it goes up like 1d10 every time. So
yeah, and I now have I do have 3rd level spell slots now. So which is good. So that gives me a bit more juice on some of those. But yeah, I definitely don't use my spells enough.
Ensnaring Strike is a bonus action as well. Like a lot of ranger stuff is bonus action because they want you to be able to use nature and still deal out a shit ton of damage, right? So it's like a defense, offense, all in one.
I just need to remember.
Yeah. That's why we're going.
I think that's the theme of tonight's
episode.
We just need to remember.
We just need to remember.
That's why we're going through now. So like I said, when we hit combat and you start swinging, Amy or Tom can be like, "Hey, what about Hunter's Mark or Hail of Thorns?" Because you're firing an arrow as an option.
I would like to throw out a preemptive apology to the listeners that when we immediately forget about these things in the next episode, please don't be mad.
Yeah. We're doing our best, and sometimes that's not very good, but our intentions are so good.
So good.
Just a little side note, I picked a feat, gave me 24 extra hit points.
What?
Nice. Was it tough?
Tough.
Was it tough?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
tough.
it was.
I was like,
Yeah, it was.
a lot of these other things are kind of cool, but I think mostly I just need to not die, and I have very little hit points comparatively to others. So yeah.
Yeah, no, you're all pretty, well, aside from Flint, you're, because you have 114, Nular has 124, Flint has 1,000.
Oh my gosh, I'm so close. Hey, can I figure out these rings? Would you mind giving me a little info? Oh, it's only if Carla's done.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think I am.
Unless you have any
between
other...
the tough feat and dwarven toughness as a bonus, being a mountain dwarf, I have just
You're just so tough.
of hit points.
You're so tough.
Just so tough.
Like
double tough, guys.
So from Nimur, you got ring gates.
Ring gates. Knew it.
So
okay, yeah.
These always come in pairs, 2 iron rings, each about 18 inches in diameter. The rings must be on the same plane of existence and within 100 miles of each other to function. Whatever is put through one ring comes out the other, and up to 100 pounds of material can be transferred each day. Objects only partially pushed through and then retracted do not count. So if you reach your arm through, pull something back out, like your arm doesn't count, but whatever you brought through with it counts. Whereas if you send Flamykins through it, she counts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but we went through this.
Mm-hmm.
Can I punch through it?
Yeah. I mean...
Okay.
My
whole fist can go through it.
Like, okay,
Here, Flint, hold this up to your face.
Yeah. This.
Yeah.
So this useful device allows you to instantaneously transport the instantaneous transport of items or messages and even attacks. A character can reach through and grab things nearer the other ring, or even stab a weapon through, so if desired. Alternatively,
shit, you could throw it in front of someone while someone shoots an arrow through the other one, and
that would be a crazy coordinated
there's real,
attack
portal
here.
shit happening here.
Yeah.
Alternatively, a character could stick his head through to look around. A spellcaster could even cast a spell through a ring gate. Creatures of tiny, diminutive, or fine size can pass through easily. Each ring has an entry side and an exit side, both marked with appropriate symbols.
Yes, I do remember Nimir showing me that and being like, look, right here.
In that episode, Thaddeus also picked up a Wand of Fear, and Flamykins picked up 3 arrows of dragon slaying. So just to keep in mind who keeps track of those as characters come and go, and what you might want to steal from them.
Nice.
So
18 inches. These are big rings.
Well, they're so flamingkins could fit through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have them kind of around me as I do my bow, I think.
So you're
got a
going
lot of
through, but
flair.
coming through them. You
Oh my
can't.
God,
You can't
that
put yourself through
Fuck
them.
up. Thanks.
Yeah.
How do I hold them?
You put them in a bag.
Just like on your belt.
So you're just holding them on your belt, probably right
Okay,
now.
yeah, I'll connect
until
them to
you
my
find
belt.
some other way to. But if you put your arm through them, it's coming through the other one, or coming out of the other one.
So, like, it's like, how do you even hold on to them? That's fucked up. Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Let's say you can hold on to the fucking right.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're on your belt, we'll say. Okay, so yeah, we did all level ups, we did items, we did spells. The last thing we wanted to touch on was just kind of the goals that you've hit to this point and where we should pick up next, because we're not going to get to playing tonight. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously it is.
So you guys have, we can talk about, kind of the goals you've got to since the last council session, because you guys are more than likely heading back to council, I assume.
Well, to tell them about how the dragon
Yeah.
meeting went, even
Yeah.
though it turns out they don't fucking care.
Well, no, they do care, and they want you to do
know.
a
They
bunch.
do.
I know, I just am a little bit,
They have some demands.
They want you to do a bunch of shit for them in order to care.
No, not the dragons.
Oh.
The council. They've been dicks. Like, you guys fly under the radar, do your own thing. We can't support you.
No,
Both
that- parallel
okay,
worlds.
stop.
What?
That's not the that's not the council.
World.
Okay, stop there, because you've got two separate things you're dealing with now.
right.
You've got the council, who are the people in Waterdeep, and then you've got the Guild of the Nine
Oh,
Shadows.
right. The guild is wanting us to be on the down low. They don't want to publicly fund or support anybody. They're okay, right? Okay, I got
So
it.
you're not going back to the guild, you're going back to the council.
Yes, right.
Who sent you to the Misty Forest and to the Dragon Council meeting.
Yes.
The guild has no say what's happening, and they've
Let's just pretend they don't even
dismissed you.
exist.
Yeah.
So we need to return to the council and report on dragon assistance.
And tell them, hey,
Because as of right now, you, story-wise, have no other real leads.
well, we kind of need to go and get this shit done for the
Yeah.
dragons. I need to go up to Silvery Moon and get a formal apology for.
Okay. Go back to the council, because Lady Illustrial is
Like,
from
they might be
Silvery
able to
Moon.
take care of some
Right.
of
She's
that
the
stuff,
she's the
right?
High Queen of Silvery Moon.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
in theory, we should be able to go back and say, like, they're going to help, but these are their demands.
So
Everybody
figure this
you
out,
need
you
to
guys.
talk to is going to be at the council in one way, shape, or form.
Okay, good.
Or some representative of. Right?
Oh,
So I'm looking, like, back through our notes, and this is from, holy shit, so long ago, my dudes. December 29th, 2016.
oh God.
Okay.
2016. Oh, you're going back to old stuff.
Well, this was our last. Is that right?
No,
yeah,
'cause
it's got to be.
20
Like, this was our last tasks. But listen, guys, we did all this stuff. Listen to these things that were on our task lists. Wrap things up with Makoth. We did that.
Excellent.
Did it. Worm Speaker Varam the White is in the Serpent Hills.
Caught that
We did
bastard. Made him
Excellent.
look at Flint naked.
Narenvane is in the Misty Forest.
Found
in the
that son of a
Stronghold.
bitch.
We just did that. Free Little Rock. We did that first.
We did.
That was-
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a scary episode.
yeah.
Paisley
So I
thinks
just
so
wanted
too.
to let you guys know we have accomplished a lot of things that we were supposed to.
That makes me feel a lot better, actually.
Did it.
Yeah, like there was a to-do list, and we
You guys
did
are getting
it.
stuff
it.
We
done.
did it.
We
We did it.
and we did it. Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, I will go back to the council. Anybody else know anything else we have on our list? Because I don't think we do. Like,
I think we'll talk to the
we've
council
got fixing
and
Flint's double
Yes.
situation on the list, but
Yeah.
outside of
Yeah.
that
as
hasn't
far as
yeah, that hasn't come up between characters yet though.
no, you've only told Flamekins.
Yeah.
I start to unbutton my shirt. What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on here? Thea has a doppelganger because of
yes.
Crazy Worlds and because of Ty.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't because of Ty, but it was a good tie-in to actually introduce it. Tie in.
Ha.
Yeah, I like this. Like, P.S. There are parallel worlds, and there's a version of each of us in each world. What?
No big deal.
But we
I
can't
know.
talk about this now.
Yeah, we can't.
We'll
deal
grab
with
a
that.
beanbag later and hash this out.
Totally.
Thank you everybody for listening to this, whatever this was.
Right.
Please send your tips and information for us.
We wanted to just kind of remember for ourselves, but also know that we do care about mechanics and stuff. So
We try to care about mechanics.
we try.
We do try our best.
We
We
do.
legitimately do.
And there's things we've never explained that
Yeah.
we've just had before we started playing. So it's probably helpful
good.
to actually say like, oh, I've had this thing the whole time. That's why.
That's why this
do this.
happens. So thank you for listening. Next week will be Carla's episode for Women in Tabletop Gaming Month, and then the week after that will be a regular episode where we'll have a guest star on as well.
Also, woo.
And we'll actually like roll dice and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, we better.
There'll be some
we
dice
will.
rolling. There'll be some dice rolling.
I feel like I haven't rolled dice
It'll
in
be fun.
forever, which, I mean, isn't really a bad thing for me, but...
So thank you, everybody. Bye.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, ending things.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.